Hey there, Dan Delgado back again with another unwanted review. This time around, we're going to be taking a look at the Johnny Depp movie Black Mass. Here we have Johnny Depp starring as James Whitey Bulger in the true life story of the terrible mafioso from Boston who went ahead and made a deal with the feds and was able to do all kinds of terrible things and pretty much get away with it, or at least for a long, long time, he was able to get away with it. So we've got Johnny Depp. He's playing Whitey Bulger. And if you don't know the story, it's a pretty interesting one. He is a terrible, horrible mobster from the South Boston area, which I know, surprising. South Boston full of terrible mobsters? That's insane. And what he does is he ends up making a deal with a Fed by the name of John Connolly. Here he's played by Joel Edgerton. And John Connolly was friends with Bulger growing up and comes up with an idea. Here's a good way to fight crime. If I were to make a deal with this guy I knew as a kid, and he were to provide me with information, and we as the FBI would kind of look the other way while he went ahead and did terrible things, well, we could go ahead and kind of minimize the damage. And I guess, in essence, it's not a terrible idea had it worked even slightly. See, what happens here is that Bulger basically just kind of does whatever he wants. Killing sprees, all kinds of robberies, drugs, whatever it is, he just kind of does whatever it is that he feels like doing, and he seems to feel like doing terrible things all of the time. Now, also in the cast, you got Benedict Cumberbatch playing Bulger's brother, who happens to be a senator, happens to be a decent, upstanding citizen, but is also favorable towards his brother. He kind of takes the attitude of, listen, I know you're out there doing terrible things, Johnny Depp, but don't tell me anything about it, all right? We'll still meet for dinner at Mom's place, and we'll have conversations, and we will both talk with our wonderful Boston accents, but I don't necessarily need to know all of the terrible things that you're doing over there, all right? Just as long as I could keep my fingers clean. Now, Cumberbatch, I should point out, is in a much smaller role than you might think of. I mean, he's definitely there. You feel his presence throughout the movie, and he does a good job with that silly Boston accent of his. However, the movie really definitely belongs to Depp, and honestly, more than anything, it's Joel Edgerton who stands out in my mind. Because as much as I hate Whitey Bulger in this movie, it's this guy that I hate more. Because Edgerton, or I should say his character of John Connolly, spends a lot of the movie trying to get Bulger to play ball, who doesn't, and also trying to keep the FBI from not wanting to renege on this ridiculous deal that they have with him. He's a huge, unbelievable, unlikable, hateable weasel. So while we understand that the animal that Whitey Bulger is, we understand this guy is a psychotic. This guy is evil, and he's out there, and he's doing terrible things. We get that. We know that going in. The problem is that on the justice side of things, which is where this guy's supposed to be, the ball is being dropped, and it's being dropped horribly. Now, the movie is full of really good performances. Everybody does a great job, and it's definitely nice to see Johnny Depp doing a nice job at playing an actual character instead of playing a cartoon character for once. I mean, look, he totally nails Whitey Bulger. The main problem that I had with Black Mass, if I had a major problem that I would say, it's that it does feel like you're getting hit over the head with all kinds of terrible violence and evil acts that continue to go on seemingly without consequence, and you are just waiting for justice to arrive. Now, that said, Black Mass does its job and is a very good movie, and you should check it out if you have an opportunity. Now, it does seem to be the latest in a long line of movies that Hollywood has been kind of fascinated with over the last decade, of showing just how terrible people in South Boston really are. You know, every so often you get one of these movies where just terrible things are happening and they're full of the worst humans known to mankind. Honestly, I've never been to Boston, and until 10 years ago, if you had asked me, I would have said, well, Boston, it's a great town. It's full of wonderful American history. And now I kind of have the opinion that Boston is probably one of the last places on earth that anyone should ever have to go to. Well, Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back again with another unwanted review. Please do me a favor and subscribe or like or tell somebody or maybe you write your senator or something. Whatever it takes. It doesn't matter at this point. I'm open to anything.